Hi, Julia Dean here with Culinary Works, and it is springtime here in New Canaan, and we are going to be talking about Canan Cares. And I have Michelle Riley and Kristen Jimsky here with me today. And normally this time of year, ladies, right, we have the fabulous home tour.
Yes,
right, which is such a coveted event in New Canaan, and it is actually what I love about it. It's such a great sneak peek into people's homes that are just some of these most beautiful and fabulous, well curated, and highly decorated, beautiful homes. But obviously, since COVID, right, we've kind of, you guys,
yes, we really had to
make a
change
major
it up this year.
Yeah, which is actually, it's like it's forced us to do some different things.
It really has. It's actually been really fun because we were able to do a hybrid home tour this year, which we featured 3 homes on the interior of their house on a video tour, and then on May 27th, we're going to have an in-person outdoor tour called
Outdoor Spaces and Quarantine Places.
I mean, that is just so cool, right? But also, there is going to be some ancillary, areas where, and it also is in person, right? We have to forget that again.
Yes.
So we are allowed to go, surrounding towns, because I know this always is, we always get a lot of people from other towns that come in as well.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. So it's all non-primary residences.
Right.
Yes.
Ancillary, like we had said.
Ancillary.
Right.
Exactly.
pool houses, barns. We've got some wetlands on the tour. We have
a beautiful garden.
Yeah, that's right.
What else?
Meadows.
A guest house.
Guest house.
Yep.
All these extra little buildings that people have on their properties that are just like bonus things that, again, like, which is so exciting to really see and to, get a sneak peek into like, wow, that's so pretty.
Yeah, and then they were all places that people and families used during the quarantine because they had to use other places in their house since they needed to vary it up.
Right, exactly. And also
Have
when they
time.
had, if somebody was coming, somebody had to come home from school, and if they had COVID, and it's like, I'm sorry, but you are going to be in the guest house.
Yes.
Right? You're going to be there for whatever, the 2 weeks of quarantine, so.
Yeah, and
anyway,
spaces turned into offices too. So,
yes.
That people mixed it up a lot.
Exactly. So, and to second kind of all that, in the outdoor theme, we thought we would cook a couple things, and then you guys also have this great cookbook.
Yeah. Cooking with Canan Cares. We just released it, I don't know, about a month ago?
Not even, actually. It's hot off the presses.
Hot off the press,
Yeah,
fancy.
I feel like people started picking them up last week. So.
And what's the price? Because I know this all goes to fund Canan Cares.
Yeah, I think it's $20.
Yeah.
Each book is $20, and for those people who bought Canan Cares patron tickets at the highest level, you received a free cookbook with your purchase of your home tour ticket.
Right, and they can also buy these on the tour as well, the cookbook.
Absolutely. So at the luncheon spot, when you pick up your lunch, if you choose to do so, there will also be a table for cookbooks as well.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Yeah, and it features all sorts of local celebrities as well as PTC presidents and others.
I know, I saw that, and I saw Officer Deke put a recipe in there as well.
And you cooked with Officer Deke. You had a great segment.
Oh, I had Jason.
So
I had
Jason.
Jason. But we FaceTime with Officer Deke during the segment. It was so cute because we had talked about him on the segment. We had FaceTimed him, and he was at Saks, in his little running around the ATV or whatever. So.
And Officer Deke has been helping Canan Cares with the leadership program this year since we weren't able to be in person for middle school leadership. Officer Deke, since he's in the school, was able to take that on.
Right,
really
yeah,
great.
that's perfect. Yeah, I love that leadership program. That's such a wonderful. I mean, you guys do so much at Canan Cares, and you're, thankless jobs, and it really is amazing. So I know you're both chair people. You're the chairman of the.
I'm chair of the board currently. Yep.
Amazing.
She's doing an amazing job.
And Michelle, the volunteer of all,
Yes.
like the woman who, should say no sometimes.
Yeah, I love it. I'm
But
very,
she's so
very
great.
happy to do it.
And you're chair of the.
Well, I was the home tour chair for this year for the video portion of the home tour, and I've been the past board chair prior to Kristen 2 times ago.
Right?
So,
Absolutely.
yes.
So heavily involved, but.
Well, and we can't thank Dean enough, Culinary Works and
thank
Dean
Julia.
Inc. because
Thank
Julia
you.
too, the whole family, because you really are such wonderful care supporters.
Thank you. Well, we love it, personally love it, and I know it's such a big help to the
Huge help.
community
Huge.
and around. So we want to continue to support it as well. So
Dean was one of our first sponsors on the home tour and has
Aw.
continued to be a sponsor every year consistently for 27 years. So
Yeah.
that's pretty amazing.
thank you. Kudos, Peter. So. All right, so let's talk about food, right? The other kind of really fun stuff here that we have. So we're going to make 2 hors d'oeuvres. These are very popular. The brookie nachos, I feel like so many people have done in New Canaan. They're what I put in the cookbook for those that aren't familiar with it, because it's just something that's,
I think it's iconic to all of. I mean,
Right.
I recognize the ingredients
It's a
immediately.
Right? It is a go-to for any time of year. All families was all ages, so I was like, oh, well, I have to do the brookie nachos. But all right, Kristen, so what I'm going to have you do is you're going to start to add, we have about a generous maybe cup and a half of cheese here. You're going to add your black beans and your scallions there. Yeah,
Fantastic.
exactly. And then you're going to mix those all up, and then you're going to start to mix those up first, and then you can start to add, some of that just regular prepared mayonnaise.
Okay.
We have just some whole tortilla chips. One thing we were talking about with the chips was that you definitely need like a thicker chip because you're going to be spreading it on with this little spreader, and if the chip is too thin, it just doesn't work quite as well. Yeah, it'll crack. So anyway, so yeah, that looks good.
Right.
Let's add a little bit of chili powder here. So I would just do like a little good generous teaspoon in your hand, and then put it in there so it doesn't all pour out at once.
Freshly washed hands, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so, and over here, Michelle, this is a great, little bit more sophisticated of an hors d'oeuvre here, but not certainly difficult or super fancy, just like kind of the palate, kind of flavors here.
And
so
it
we have,
outdoors. It works for
it's great for outdoors. So what you're going to do here, we have just some regular goat cheese, and sometimes if the goat cheese is too like almost crumbly, you can just go ahead and add a little bit of water just to thin it out a little bit. You could add a little bit of cream cheese. If you didn't have goat cheese, you could use cream cheese, which is a nice other spreadable cheese, but you need something kind of thick. So what you're going to do to start with here is just spread a little bit of goat cheese.
And that's just a crostini?
This is just, yes, I'm sorry. This is just a crostini that you could buy or you could make, obviously. You would just slice up a baguette, a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper, and bake it in the oven.
Cool.
You don't have to brush it, right? Either just take your little pourer and just, it'll kind of spread as the heat, kind of gets onto the bread.
Great.
So you're gonna do this, and then you're gonna take a little bit of fig spread, and you're gonna end up putting a little bit of fig spread here, which I'll show you here. So a little bit of fig spread.
Yeah.
It's kind of that like nice little like sweet and salty kind of flavor
Combination.
profile, which is like I find super satisfying and crunch, right?
Exactly.
So we have a little bit of cut up prosciutto here. You can obviously use as big as a piece of prosciutto as you like.
Oops.
And then we're going to take some nice basil here. And this is really, really what makes this particular dish. You definitely need the basil. You can't skimp on the basil. And a nice big piece of basil is totally fine. So, and the basil will stick.
Nice.
Here, I can put that, put that right on there. It looks a little dramatic with the basil.
But
I
it's
mean,
also nice because
sure.
this time of year you have so much basil growing plentifully everywhere, so you could really put it to good use. So
right, absolutely. I mean, you could do like a piece of arugula, if you didn't have basil, that has that nice kind of, peppery type flavor, so that would work as well.
And I think it's good to leave the basil whole because sometimes if you chop it up, it starts to turn brown.
It does. It does. You have it's very delicate actually, and that's why it's never really meant for the spring. That's why you have to wait till like a week after Mother's Day to really start planting it. So okay, so why don't you go ahead and start spreading there? Let's see how we end up. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I think we can maybe do a little bit more, chili powder.
Oh, okay.
Just a little touch more chili powder. You want to taste the chili powder in there. You don't want it to be like overpowering, but you want a little bit more. And then you could always put in that's good. Yeah, finished it.
Well, I think I put too much.
Yeah, that's fine. So you can pour that back. Okay. So you can just unscrew it if it's easier for you. On top, yeah. Okay, you got it. So you can always put a little bit of cayenne pepper in there too, if you like a little bit of spice, right? On top of these, or into the mix. Just depends kind of on who your audience is, right?
Right.
And since these are individual nachos, you can go ahead and you want to be relatively generous on this here. So it's definitely like a fair amount, right? I mean, it's definitely like
plentiful.
Because you're not eating like 8 of them, you're eating like however many. But I should go this side. So you definitely try to do the concave side, right?
Smart.
So this way it could kind of fall over, right? So I'll finish one more and then I'll have you kind of do the rest here, And the scallions, like we had talked about, are super, super important. So you definitely want to make sure, that you're adding your scallions to this because again, like the basil over here, the scallions are really what give it that kind of nice freshness, right? Otherwise, it's just kind of, the cheese. Yeah, exactly. Springtime fresh, which is all what, all of us kind of want, about now, springtime fresh.
Absolutely.
So are there any houses on the tour that you guys are looking forward to seeing or in particular?
Gosh, yes, but the great reveal will happen when you get your ticket and come to the actual tour on tour day.
I know, right? I know.
But no, we have some really great properties. We got lucky this year.
We really did, and I feel like it is so. It's just the whole community comes out. It's such a great day.
It
And-
is.
and
Rain
then-
or shine.
Rain or shine.
Years in the
Yes.
past, right? I mean,
Rain
you'd
or
see all the
shine.
ladies would be in the,
Yeah.
you know, in the booths, right? And what I forget what this booths
Well,
are called.
this year it'll be a little different because you're not going inside. So you really,
Right.
if it's raining, you really do have to dress appropriately. But it's still going to be an awesome day, and you're definitely going to want to see the properties.
Yes.
Right. And what about the ancillary spaces? So are you going to be able to go inside to those?
Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
There are,
Okay.
I think there are really two main interiors
Yeah.
that people will be able to walk through. The others are
Like
Also
kind of you can
outside.
see from outside.
see from outside.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah, they're
fun.
much more open.
There are
Yeah.
a lot of like outdoor backyard spaces. So
Yes.
you have a lot.
Right.
You see pool houses, you see barns, you see.
Well, and the outdoor fireplaces.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fire pits.
Entertaining.
And just the
Yes.
whole
Outdoor
outdoor living
kitchens,
space.
yes,
Yeah, outdoor
exactly.
kitchens and
Yeah.
like just the whole setup of like the planters and the sofas and
Yeah,
you
all the
know.
landscaping.
Right.
We had a lot more
The
art
hardscaping.
landscape designers this year
Mhm.
who were excited to sponsor because everything was outside, which is
Right.
really nice.
Right, so
So-
it's kind of interesting how it's all been, you know, kind of shifted. So maybe, you know, in the next year's coming, you'll just, you know, kind of have some kind of like, I don't
Combo.
know. Yeah, like, right. I mean, maybe some kind of interesting, you know, kind of mix.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. You have to. One thing we've all learned is we have to be very innovative during these times, and you just kind of
Right,
go with
yes.
the flow and see what happens. And
Right, hence
We're-
why we're here right
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
Right? I mean,
very creative.
all right, so we're gonna put these in the oven,
Okay.
and then we're gonna come back to you guys and kind of show you, you know, how our little final dishes came out and make your mouths water on the other
Yeah,
side of the
I-
camera, right?
Everything smells delicious
I
already.
know, we're gonna be able to eat it.
Yes.
So we'll be right back with you guys. Okay, so we are back with these fabulous new Canan Cares women, right? And we have our little snacks here.
This
and
looks delicious. Thank
yeah,
you.
so we have the brookie nachos if you want to put a couple of those on that tray there. They baked in the oven like 350. It really doesn't matter what your oven temperature is. I mean, just as long as you have a hot oven for the cheese to melt because everything is already cooked. And then we have our great crostinis here. And if you are gluten-free in a situation like this, you can use a gluten-free bread and then just, you know, toast the bread ahead of time. You can use a gluten-free cracker as well. So there's lots of, it's fine. You can see first here. So there's lots of different options of what, I guess.
I'm ready for a
Yeah,
break.
go ahead. Right? Which one's the
Ready up, ready up, that's right.
Right. So there's a lot of different options if you're gluten-free too. So just, I know those glutino crackers I think would be
Yes.
really good with
Really
something
good.
like this because it's
Yeah.
like the perfect size and they have like a nice crunch to them too.
Yeah. But Michelle very sweetly made little ones on tortillas for me.
She did. And I was just saying to Michelle, that because initially the basil wasn't sticking, and I said you just need to kind of stick the basil, like find a piece of the fig jam that's sticky or the cheese, and just kind of push it down so that the basil will stick to that, and then that way, you know, that
Yeah,
way
it won't fly off. So
it
that
won't
it's
fly
easy
off
to
if you're,
serve.
you know, out there on your patio.
Exactly.
So let's try them, ladies, and
Okay.
kind of give them a sense
I
of
will
what we
say
think.
that these were so easy to make. It's lovely to.
Right?
Mmm.
Just delicious.
Oh.
Really,
Like
really
the-
yummy.
The sweet,
Mm-hmm.
salty,
Mhm.
and then
And the basil.
the freshness of the basil is like such a
Mhm.
yummy
And this is so creamy, and the
Flavor?
scallions are
see the scallions,
yes, They really do add that pop of brightness.
And
So-
there was nothing added in the goat cheese, right? It was just a little bit of water for the mixture.
right?
It's
Just to
such a
make
nice
it
flavor.
so it's spreadable.
Yeah.
Because goat cheese, you know, can be
It's
Crumbly.
so crumbly.
Mhm.
I'm gonna definitely use that tip.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And we said you could do arugula.
Yep.
I like basil the best, but if for some reason you make too much pesto, I don't know. Right?
Yeah.
So let's try the other one too, so we can
Mhm.
make sure that we
Well,
can
I'm gonna-
report.
Yep.
And then talk about, you know, so that they can be in person this year for the tour.
Yep.
Yeah, we're really excited to welcome everybody onto the tour this year, and that the fact that it's in person is such a wonderful thing. We're hoping for gorgeous weather, and the idea is to just gather your friends and your neighbors and come on around. We're going to get to see 6 outdoor spaces and support New Canan Cares, which is really what we are very excited for everybody to do in this community.
NewCananCares.org. What is it again? The website?
Yep.
NewCananCares.org. You could find a whole entire what is it? What are they called? Page.
Yep.
Right.
An entire page devoted invited to the home tour, and tickets are for sale there. You can find the cookbooks for sale there, and any.
And what's the
information-
ticket price? The regular ticket price?
$80.
$80. Right.
That gives you admission to 6 properties as well as access to 3 interior homes that have already been taped and online available for you to see.
Right. The ones online.
Yeah,
Yes, Peter and I saw those
Yeah.
at home. Yeah, we were looking at them. They're gorgeous. So.
Yeah, they did such a great job with the video. It really is, and it was unfortunate because we had some houses from last year that we had sponsorship on, but they were really the interior spaces, and we weren't sure, if people would want people in their homes. So we figured,
Right.
you know what? Let's do a video of these beautiful interiors. That way, we are able to highlight them, and then we'll add the outdoor spaces as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well,
I have to
anything
taste
else?
that one.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Let's do
I
it.
cannot move over.
Yes, please do.
This is so
I'll try one too.
nice and chewy. This is nice. This is my lunch today. I think.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Me
right?
I'm very excited.
So good.
That's delicious. Wow.
Really yummy.
I like them both so much, and they're different though.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
they're both great for outdoor serving.
Exactly.
Like very different flavors. So
And super easy,
Sure.
and things that you pretty much have readily available as well.
Absolutely. Yes, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
the shredded Mexican cheese.
Yeah.
The scallions. Obviously basil. So and the prosciutto. And so.
Yeah.
And the fig jam. Oh, and I said too, if there's sometimes there's like that sour cherry preserves,
Oh, yes.
that would be really
Yes.
good too. If we wanted to switch up instead of fig jam, we wanted to use
Yeah.
a different type of.
would orange marmalade work, or would that be too?
You could do
tart?
orange marmalade, but I would change up the. I don't know if I would do the prosciutto and the goat cheese.
Okay.
Maybe like cheddar
Mhm.
or something.
Something a little
Maybe
like that,
something
yeah.
a little different, something a little tartar with a little honey or with a nut or something.
True.
That's a good
something
idea.
like that.
Yeah.
So.
Julie's
Well, I
always
think-
full of good ideas.
I think. Was there anything else we want to make sure that we talk about where we feel you guys feel pretty good?
I feel pretty
Support,
good. We're just,
support to Canan Cares. I mean,
Please come on out.
yeah,
Yep.
come on out.
We're
visit.
looking forward to seeing you, and we really are excited about having a fabulous day all together on the new Canan Cares home tour.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Julia.
Julia.
Yeah, it was so
Fabulous.
fun.
Thank you.
All right.
New food to make.
I'm gonna eat one more.